India are set to host England in a one-day international series starting tomorrow. It's a precursor to the ICC Champions Trophy, which kicks off in 2 weeks. In other words, it's a warm-up competition, an important series in the build-up to the ICC event. It's a chance for both India and England to find their winning combinations. For India, though, there's a major headache: the absence of Premier pacer Jasprit Bumrah due to injury concerns. India's cricket board, the BCCI, has quietly removed Bumrah from the 16-member ODI squad for the England series. Bumrah was initially part of the lineup and was expected to play against England, especially after the BCCI's chief selector, Ajit Agarkar, opened the possibility of the pacer's comeback in the final ODI.
With Bumrah, we are waiting to hear about his fitness and when he is likely to be available. At the moment, I don't think he is likely to be fit for the first couple of games, at least from what we gather. We will probably hear more in the next week or so about his fitness.
This was one of the reasons why Bumrah was part of the ODI squad. Both the BCCI and the team management were hopeful that the Indian pacer would be fit to play before the Champions Trophy, even if that meant Bumrah's comeback was in the final ODI against England. But ever since the Indian speedster went down with back spasms in the final Border-Gavaskar Trophy test in Sydney last month, the suspense around his fitness has only grown. Bumrah is currently being treated at India's National Cricket Academy, or NCA. The NCA is yet to release an official statement. No update regarding Bumrah's current situation has been given, but we know how the NCA works. This isn't the first time we're witnessing suspense surrounding an Indian pacer's participation for a mega event. During the recent Border-Gavaskar Trophy, it was Mohammad Shami in place of Jasprit Bumrah. Shami didn't play any international cricket for a year, but he was expected to make a comeback for the final 2 tests of the series against Australia. This was because Shami was flourishing in domestic cricket and playing the local matches with ease. But despite that, the NCA didn't feel that he was fit enough to play international cricket. So when the NCA kept delaying Shami's comeback, it frustrated the Indian skipper, Rohit Sharma.
About Shami, it's time somebody from the NCA talks. Those guys are the ones who need to give us an update. I understand he is playing a lot of cricket back home, but there have been some complaints about his knee.
Fast forward to this month. Instead of Shami, it's Bumrah now. Is the NCA making the same mistake it did during Shami's case? Because what Shami's absence did was put extra pressure on Bumrah during the Border-Gavaskar Trophy. One single pacer was carrying the burden of India's bowling attack.
My biggest concern about India when they came for Australia in the Test series was Bumrah not having Shami there as a backup and him having to burden most of the load. And that's probably what happened. It might even have something to do with why he got hurt.
A senior pacer like Shami was missing, and the team was heavily reliant on Bumrah. Indian captain Rohit Sharma even forced Bumrah to bowl when he was tired. Though Bumrah did deliver up until the first innings of the 5th test, it came at a price: his injury. The same injury that is now the reason for uncertainty over Bumrah's participation in the Champions Trophy. And how will Bumrah perform if he's fit for the ICC event? I understand that Bumrah is arguably the best bowler in the current period. The awards say it: Best Test Cricketer, Best Cricketer of the Year 2024. But he will still need some practice before an ICC event, right? Even the best in the business need that.
They will think that he will come in straight away and set the world on fire. It's never that easy when you come back from injury.
The second possibility is that Bumrah misses the Champions Trophy entirely. This will hamper India's chances completely. It may prove to be a major dent in the Men in Blue's hopes of winning the prestigious ICC trophy.
Bumrah not fit will reduce India's chances by 30%. With a fully fit Bumrah playing, you are guaranteed of those death overs. It would have been a different ball game altogether.
We understand that the NCA is being cautious with Bumrah. Given that he's the biggest weapon India has, they wouldn't want to rush him and make it worse for the Indian pacer. But what about Bumrah? Will he be willing to sit out an ICC event? Because when reports started emerging about the extent of his injury and him needing prolonged bed rest, Bumrah quashed all those reports. Bumrah wasn't just upset with the fake reports, he was showing that he wants to play in the Champions Trophy. He wants to win another ICC event for India, and he's doing everything to make a comeback. Maybe it's time the NCA issues some clarity on Bumrah's availability. India is without their experienced pacer. Mohammad Shami has just returned to international cricket. He only played one T20 international out of the 5 against England. What India need is a fully fit Bumrah to accompany Shami, to share the load between the two. What remains to be seen is, can Bumrah make a comeback from his injury, or will the NCA have to rush the bowler, which could be catastrophic?
We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we put together for you. Touted as the minimum defense from that video. India's neighbours were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout this week. Yes, Hindu Mandir we're on our way to Tel Aviv. Pretty measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Tagwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
we were actually
How are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote effort. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion. 4.3 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.